Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel about cross stitch. How was everybody's week last week? Hopefully you had a good one. We did go to Pennsylvania last weekend for my daughter's game. It was way colder than the week before, windy, some snow, below freezing. It was cold, probably the coldest I've been in quite some time. So we all just huddled up together. Meg played well, the team did well. We had a nice dinner with her afterwards, so it was worth it. But I am very happy that this week has been a little bit warmer. We've got little glimmers of spring. I know for a lot of you, 50 degrees doesn't seem like very warm, but for us at the beginning of March, that is a heat spell. So I will take it, and I will take the sunshine, and I will take the warmer weather, and let's move on to spring. I am happy to do it. I wanted to say a quick thank you to a couple people before we get going with all of the stitchy stuff. First off, Lisa, Crossed by Floss. She, in the comments last week, talked about Bestitch Me, who is a hand dyer of fabric, and she said she's had great customer service and great product. So that is on my list. I have got a couple of orders into other places, but I didn't know about this one. But she's on my list to give a try as well. So thank you, Lisa. And Lisa herself has a floss tube, Crossed by Floss, like I said. I'll link it down below if you are interested in discovering somebody else, if you don't already know about her. And then secondly, I wanted to say thank you to Marla. In last video, I talked about how I didn't have any St. Patrick's Irish patterns, and Marla had commented with a link to a freebie by Plum Street Samplers. I guess I didn't even know they did freebies on their blog, but it was a blog post from March of 2011. And I would show you, but the post itself just shows the pattern. And I don't know if she keeps track of downloads or whatever, so I don't want to show it on the screen. But I will try to link it below as well. So if you want a pattern with some shamrocks in it and it's free, you can go and get it. So thank you, Marla. That was really helpful, and I've already started stitching on it. So I'll show that in just a little bit so you get a chance to see what it looks like. All right, moving on. Crafts from the past. I thought I would show something St. Patrick's Day, since we are now firmly into March and we only have a little bit longer to go before St. Patrick's. This I created ages and ages ago. I don't know about you guys, but when my kids were smaller, I did a lot more fiddly crafts than I do now. I don't know if it's because I wanted to make things cutesy because they were young or what, but I don't think I would ever sit there and cut out all of these leprechauns now. I don't think I had the patience, but back then I did, even though I had less time to do it. So this was just a cute little bucket. The bucket itself was from Target. I put floral foam in there. You just cut it up. It makes a mess, but you just shape it however you want. Threw in some shredded paper for the grass. These picks were from Michael's. And then these leprechauns were a rubber stamp. So I stamped them up. I colored them with Copic markers. I don't know how to say it. If you do, let me know. And then I cut them out. Now, there are a lot of people in the paper crafting world that do fussy cutting quite a bit, and they are really good at it, and they like it. I don't. I do have a special little scissors that's spring-loaded, and it's got tiny tips, and that's what I use. But I would not voluntarily do this nowadays. These little guys are glue gunned onto lollipop sticks, and this has hung around this is probably a good 10 years old at this point. It's made it through a couple moves, or a move, and just lives put away most of the year and then comes out for St. Patrick's Day. So that was my craft from the past. If you did like this stamp, I did look up the company for you. I don't think they're in business anymore. It was Storage Units Inc., INK Inc., and they had a cute set. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. They are clear rubber stamps. You can tell which ones I really used a lot. The leprechaun, they had a little Irish step dancer, pot of gold. I know there's a shamrock there. There's a clatta, a bunch of other little symbols too. So you can try looking for this if you want. I don't know, I just have Celtic as the little label for it. But that may be still around, maybe on eBay or something if they aren't still in business. But there's cutesy, but that was a nice cutesy set if you wanted a whole bunch of different items. And then I have, well, I'm still going back. You know how I'm going back from last year's stitching and starting to try to finish it or whatever. So this would have been an FFO, except what I was going to finally put it on was too small. So I have another FO and a half. I think I'm going to start a trend. FO and a half. If you have some, let me know so I can see your FOs and a half. This was a stitch that I did for around Thanksgiving. It's a digital pattern from Country Magic Stitch. She has an Etsy store as well as a standalone if you'd prefer to shop that way. It's called, I think it's called just Thanksgiving Day Cross Stitch. I call it Give Thanks is what I call it. So that's what the pattern looks like. And then here is my FO and a half. This is stamped on, I think, just 18 count sand. This was me jumping away from white fabric. And I used all of the called for DMCs. And I put it on a brownish fabric. Now I have to say, last week doing the smaller finishes, I got spoiled. It was so easy to put the sticky board behind the small pieces and center it. If you look closely, this is not centered. Now, if you're worried about putting your stitching on sticky board and that you won't be able to pull it back up, I can tell you for sure you can pull it back up. I pulled it back up about 10 times. And at that point, I just said, you know what? It's staying like this. I was getting it crooked, and for the life of me, I just was not getting it right. So I kept it like this. The other thing I discovered in finishing is that when you're gluing to the back, the idea of gluing the corners first and then the sides, I am an utter failure at that. Could not get the sides to really pull properly. I am a glue the sides first and then the corners. Now I know that gives you extra fabric. I'll figure that out next time I'm finishing, but it's a wonder I didn't glue gun my finger again because I kept glue gunning. And another thing, if you glue gun and you're worried about the fabric not being able to be fixed afterwards, don't worry, it comes back up again because I glue gunned, put it down, wasn't straight, undid it, glue gunned it again, then it was gapping, a pop. So believe me, this took way more effort than I thought it would, but at this point it's done for now until I find something I want to put it on. Or I might just have all of my finishes be FOs and a halves and just lean them up against things. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll obviously wait more towards the season. I might be able to find some stuff that works for that. But that is my sort of finish, maybe finish, possibly. But I do have all my whips that I wanted to show you. I am still working steadily on the same whips, still plugging away, but I do have a couple new starts too. So that dug into some of my whip stitching. First off, we continue with Christmas rules, and I did keep the schedule light. This week was the week of the frog. He hung out with me every single day. I had to rip out stitches every day on almost every single piece here. So I'm hoping he's gone. I'm hoping, I don't wish him at your house, but I'm hoping he has left mine because I wasted so much time ripping out things and restitching all week. So this is what we have, and this is the newest one. Now, first off, I discovered a mistake. I have this actually one stitch too high. I didn't realize that till this was all done. I said, forget it. I am not fixing that. But then I said, okay, I'll just check out how, finagle the letters a little bit, which I then promptly counted wrong. So I had stitched and restitched part of keep multiple times. But finally, it's done. So another piece of the Christmas rules in the books. And the next one that I'll work on this week is share your toys. So cute. All right, next we are from Country Cottage Needleworks, July Cottage. This one was my car stitching. No, I didn't stitch on the sawmill, but I did stitch in a lot of other places. That house I finally finished, and then I worked on the flag, the flowers, and the bird bath. The flowers were frogged and restitched because I had counting errors. And I don't even think that wasn't even from the car part. I think in the car I was finishing up the house. So I can't even blame the fact that we were in a car that I was counting incorrectly. That was completely post-car. This is on 18 count, Vintage Country Mocha, the flip side. So the opposite side. So you don't get the variation in colors on this side. So at this point I was hoping to have the grass done, but my restitching put me back. So I have the grass and I have the bottom border. So we are getting ever so close on this one. We'll see if it's a finish this week. I'm not sure, but that would be nice. I'm hoping. All right, next. My lighthouse, Comfort Lighthouse from Carriage House Samplings. I'm still enjoying this one a lot. This week, the goal was the crab. I got him and more. So this is where we are right now. Up close. The crab, I messed up the counting up here, so we had to frog a little bit there. So I got really careful down here because I did not want to mess up as I kept going. And he didn't take too long, even with ripping out stitches. So I got ambitious and I said, oh, let's get the house done this week too. I have not realized how long houses seem to take me. You look at the pattern, you say, that's not bad. I can get that done. And then you start stitching and stitching and stitching. So the house is almost done. My goal for this week is definitely to work on that and get that finished. And then I'm going to start working on the mermaid tail. And that'll be the next part. So that's the goal for this week. I do really like this one a lot. My last whip that you have seen in the last few weeks is Little House Needleworks, Summer ABCs. I had gotten through Fireflies, and so my goal was the flowers, the ice cream, the word ice cream, and then maybe the ice cream cones, which I did. I got all the way through the ice cream cones. Now, there is a mistake. But at this point, so this was the last one this week I have been stitching, and I was done frogging. Unless it was a very major error, I was not changing it. So you'll notice this ice cream cone is a little taller than the other two. It's supposed to be the same as the other two. I kind of like it, so I am not pulling that out. That is staying. I think this week I'm going to work on LMO. We've got lemonade and then some pictures from there. So I think that'll be the goal for this week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Now, along with the whips, I also had a couple starts. Very exciting. And one, I don't know where to go, so I need your opinions on this of how far I want to take this one. The first one I wanted to talk about was the freebie from Plum Street that Marla had given me the information for. I can't show, like I said, I can't show, it's only just a pattern, so I'm not going to show you that. But this is what I have done stitched. It's a bunch of little shamrocks. Now in the pattern it says, so it would go, I haven't quite finished it because I wanted your opinions. It just finishes off a little bit down here like these cross, and then that would be it. And then it says got luck at the bottom. I don't want to do the words. So my question is, because I'm not sure what I'm doing with this, these are all repetitive, so I can repeat the pattern. Do I make this more of a rectangle and do some more shamrocks along the way? Because I'm not sure what I would finish it as like this. It's very small. I was thinking maybe some sort of ornament, but not on a tree kind of ornament, but to hang off of something. I feel like it could be, without the words, it could be something that be hung year round. This is just on white Ada that was coffee tea dyed, 18 count. And with the pattern, she had said, pick your own colors. And she said maybe 2 greens and an ecru or 3 greens. So I went with 3 different DMC greens. I'm not sure if the variation of the different greens is showing up. I think so. But I just went through all the greens I owned, pulled out 3 that I thought worked well together, and that's what I have. And exciting, this fulfills the requirements of a sal, which I have never done before. So this is my very first sal. I was watching 2 Martini Stitcher, Erin. Now, I've just discovered her. I know everybody, you already know about her. I'm so new to Flosstube that I'm finding all of these people that some of them have tons of followers, some don't, and but Erin was one of them this past week. And she was talking about, with her birthday in March, that she was doing a birthday sal, and it's #LuckyBirthdaySal. And you could either do an owl forest embroidery pattern, which I think is what she's doing, or you could do something that was St. Patrick's, Irish, luck, so on and so forth. So this is my first jump into a sal. Obviously the shamrocks are Irish. But please let me know what you think. Should I keep going on this? And then maybe turn it into kind of more of a rectangular sort of ornament or hanging thing? I don't have a good term for that. But that was the first start. The second start, you know I've been talking about it for ages. The Cottage Garden Samplings Halloween Sampler. I have been wanting to start this one for weeks. So I cut up my Picture This Plus shale, and this is what I have. I have a start. I am using all the called for DMCs except for I'm trying Anchor Black for a change. I don't know if I know that much difference with it. It's a little stiffer of a floss, but I'm rolling with it. And I like this. I do realize that this is going to take way longer than I thought it would. You think, okay, letters, words, no problem. But there's a lot of counting. And after my week with the frog, I did not want to pull out any stitches. So I double and triple checked every single time I had to count on this one. And this was probably the only piece, I think, that I didn't pull anything out of all the pieces I stitched this week. I was bound and determined not to have to rip any stitches out. So this is definitely going to get some stitching next week. I love it on that color fabric. I'm really liking it. And so exciting. Finally got it started. Only took me 3 weeks. Now if I could just get going on Suffrage Act, which is another one I've been talking about for 3 weeks. I didn't do much shopping this week. So you know how I talked about, all these great previews and pre-orders on Market, and what am I gonna get? I got nothing. I think time just got away from me, and then I kind of thought, I have a bunch of starts I want to start. So when would I start the things that I'd pre-order? And you know, a month from now, they're all going to be available. So I will have plenty of time to order them. But I did do a little bit of shopping, very little, not a lot at all. And it's actually all digital. After I had found Marla's freebie, I said, let's look for some more St. Patrick's, because now I had one. I had a sal that I could attach it to. Why not do some more? So that's what I did. I did find a freebie on Fat Quarter Shop. Again, I can't show it to you because there's no picture of it. It's just the pattern, and I don't know if they track their downloads. So I can never find the freebies when I go to Fat Quarter Shop's just main page. I just Google Fat Quarter Shop freebie pattern, and that gives me a link right to their patterns. And it looks like, I checked today, and it looks like they just uploaded something for Easter as well. So if you are interested in that, it is called Lucky Charm, and it is all of the general symbols and images are following around St. Patrick's Day, but it's cute. So that's there if you are interested in grabbing a freebie for that. Then I did a little shopping on Etsy. I like to support my fellow Etsy crafters. The first one that I got, I'm calling this Luck Jar. I think she calls it just Luck, but isn't that cute with the shamrocks in the jar? This comes from Needle of Love on Etsy. So I ordered that. And then I was on a roll. Why not just get a whole bunch? Lisa Thiel, I'm sorry, I'm saying her name wrong. It is on Etsy. I'll link it down below. This one is called Luck. So I thought that was really cute as well. And then, you know, when you're looking, Etsy is a rabbit hole. No pun intended, because the next one is an Easter pattern. But you start looking at different things and you're hearting this and favoriting that, and next thing you know, you're adding things to your cart. So I did order one pattern that is Easter related. I thought this was so cute. This is from Etsy, Sugar Stitches. And this is called Cottontail Candies. She has a whole line of Cottontail and Company patterns, but this one with a little peep along with the rabbit, I thought was super cute. So I just put it in my cart and pressed pay. So that was it. That is all I ordered this week. Like I said, I do have some orders of fabric that I'm hoping will come in soon, and I can get a chance to play with some hand-dyed fabric because I'm not ready to use Rit dye. My kitchen's not ready for me to use Rit dye. I am more than willing to let somebody else do the dyeing for me. At this point in time, I'm doing good enough to coffee tea dye. So my plans for the week, I want to work on the digis, especially the ones that are St. Patrick's or Irish, so that I can attach them all to the Lucky Birthday Sal from 2 Martini Stitcher. And then Suffrage Act. I know I keep talking about this. I went to pull the DMC colors so I could figure out a fabric, and I had one. I had one skein of one color. So I think this weekend there might be a trip to the craft store. I know Joann's is having a 30, well, it's a doorbuster. Usually, what is it? It's 5 for $2. So what is that? 30% off, I think. And I know Michael's, I just got a coupon today. It's 25% off all your items, regular or on sale. Michael's is closer to me than Joann's, so that might be where I go. But I finally want to grab all these colors, throw them on some pieces of fabric, see what works, and then I can get started on this finally, because I'm done talking about it. I want to actually stitch it. I love it. I love seeing the progress of everybody else that is doing it with the Sal. And I'm super excited to join in on that. Other than that, it is tax season, so I have to work on crunch the numbers for last year's Etsy before the meeting with the accountant. There's nothing like waiting to the last minute, so that will be part of my weekend, but hopefully I can get a lot of stitching done too. I hope you have a great week and happy stitching. Bye.